We're exploring the Gentry farm today. Andrew wants to look at this one. That wheel right there. Let's wait for them to get out. There's not much room in there. Don't get mud in the seat. Whoa. Dude, that thing's cool, huh? Parker, let's look at it, buddy. You look at it with me? Yeah? You like it? Yeah. Woo, look at this old Cabover. You turd. You like it? Yeah. Here's another one. Look how cool this thing is. Wow. Is the door too heavy? Yep. You know what this is, Andrew? It's a military truck.
Whoa.
Be careful, don't hit anything. Cut yourself.
This looks like the same as a dozer.
Yeah, it does. Old and...
Look at the back. Okay. Excuse me. Go.
Andrew, don't let him climb over. He's got mud on his feet.
Okay.
You climbing up, Park?
Yeah. What that this thing? Let's Parker in.
Let him sit next to you. Here, sit next to Bubba. What is this one, Andrew? You know what this is called? The Freightliner. Man, this thing is cool. You want to get in there?
Yeah.
Hold on. You want to look at it?
Yeah.
Woo! Wow, look at that. Andrew's got it. He's got some moves. Look at him. Keep stepping. Use the steps. Use these steps. There you go. Keep going. One more step.
Oh, I don't like that.
There you go, my man. Hey, watch your feet. Don't get mud in here. Don't get mud in here. Your feet are disgusting. Let's not get in there. Timmy will freak out.
Oh, yeah, how do you know?
So just look at it from the outside, all right?
Look at that.
That thing is sweet. We can't get in because Andrew's got too much mud. I don't want to track mud through there. But Andrew loves him some Cabovers. Sweet, ain't it? You like it?
Yeah.
Papa said it'll start, but we'd have to get some good batteries on it. So maybe we'll do that later this week.
Oh, my arm.
Come over here. Come over. Spring cleaning continues. Oh, 3 o'clock. We already have machine. 10 o'clock. Spring cleaning already. Just take this flatbed over there to the shop. Start ripping it apart, front end, everything out of it. Plan, Brax?
Put that right there.
You gonna put the cab up there?
Right there.
He's gonna put it on top of that?
That.
Well, this is what we're doing today. It's rolling, so it's not in gear. Working hard or hardly working. Old Timbo. So I guess what the plan is, we're gonna take this front end right here. We're gonna put it under the white Ford over there. This is a 550, and that's a 350. So I think we're gonna have to take the rear end and everything, that way it doesn't squat and look weird, and put it under that 350 over there. Look at that. Frame disconnected, steering bars, everything's out. This thing should just come out. Pretty sweet. Alright, got the 550 front end out of there. What's really cool about these things, if you crash it, you bend the frame, you can just pull this out, put it in 550, 350, 250, doesn't matter. Pretty sweet. So we're gonna pull it out of this one, put this one in there, because the other one's bad. Oh man. Alright, so we're almost done getting this thing out. Super annoying. It's not that difficult. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of people working at the same time, so everybody's using each other's tools. And it just gets frustrating, but getting there. And it's pretty cool. 550 front end under an F350. Looks pretty sweet. I'm almost finished with it. A couple more days. Well, here at the old shop, some random stuff Timmy comes up with. Got this old dozer. This thing is freaking sweet. Check this thing out. This dozer has been running apparently like 30 years. Timmy and Braxton. Alright, so we're out here at the Ford, Jackie Jones Ford in Sweetwater. So my driver, Waddy, called me up this morning, said the 22 Ford that I bought a month ago just hit 12,000 miles, and then we got a notification that it's got a check engine light. I figured Waddy just been beating on it, so we had to take it in. They said they didn't have any openings, but they were like, we're gonna get you in right now because we know you need to work, because that thing makes me money. So we got it in here, and they got it in there, cleared the code, read it, ended up being nothing. Those 2022 Fords, man, they're getting 25 miles a gallon pulling, and you really can't beat it. So thank you, Jackie Jones Ford in Sweetwater. It's freaking awesome that you got it in there, got it fixed. And now old Waddy
Going to Conroe.
He'll be heading to Texas here in a little bit, and we'll get back on the road. I'm really happy this thing's nothing wrong. There she is.
Oh, pretty girl. Oh, you don't have to wash it, dude. Daddy dirty.
All cleared. No issues. I really can't complain. Man, I got that check engine light and it scared the heck out of me, just because this thing ain't cheap.
Hey man, it's good to see you, man.
And it's gotta make money, and if it's sitting in the dealership, it ain't gonna make money. So
I can say when you load it, you get about 18 miles per gallon if you drive it right.
and then when he comes back, he keeps it around 70, and you can see it gets 24.7 miles a gallon.
About almost 600, little over 600 miles you can go on a tank of fuel in this truck on the way back.
That's crazy. I love this truck, I really do. I drove it for about 2 days and then gave it to Waddy. I'm like, all right, go make me some money, and it has. It's been doing really good. Well, now we're headed back to the shop. I'm gonna get back in my 2005 truck while he enjoys Oh, he enjoys my 2022 Ford. But that's the way it goes. I can either make money and drive, like let him drive it, or me drive it and it make nothing. So I'd rather have him having it run.
People just gotta take care of stuff. Keep me out here hot rodding and everything else. These trucks ain't made for that all the time. Going 80, 85 miles an hour. You gotta know how to treat a truck. You gotta treat it like you do your wife, nice and gentle.
I definitely don't disagree. Finally getting to work on the Duramax. Pulling it in the shop now. Got Bryce back there. Should be good. Been waiting on this. It's like the only thing that I really know how to do, like really well, is Duramaxes. All right, so this is a LBZ Duramax. We had it on the road for a long time, like 300,000 miles, and then it decided to start pouring like coolant into the exhaust. So now we're gonna pull it out, pull the heads off, put them back on, and run it again. I'm excited. This is like the easy thing for me. It's like my, I don't know, what I'm comfortable with. I hate stuff that I'm not comfortable with. And this is good. So I'm excited. Let's get this thing started and finished. All right, so first things first, what you want to do is you want to get this belt off. Obviously you want to disconnect your battery, so we're about to do that. Get your belt off. Devin's over here stuffing his face. Look at that Mach 1. Thanks, sweet. What's up, Dad?
Before you get started, can you come on help me unload this truck? Go over with me and help me unload it.
Where's, oh, at the dump? Yeah, we can do that. But first things first, get the belt off, get the battery disconnected, get the wiring off. That way everything's out of your way. And then everything else is easy. Just go ahead and get this fan shroud out of the way. And then it'll give me a little bit more room to work with. And then I can start I like to just have as much room as I can, so. All right, so basically you have this, like, you know, this nut or this bolt right there on the fan pulley. And once you hit that wrench a couple times, it'll break that nut loose. And then all you gotta do is just spin the fan while it's on there. And this nut right here will spin on that pulley, and then it'll just come off. Like, you don't have to keep turning the nut. You just spin the fan, and when the fan bolt right there, fan nut, whatever you want to call it, starts spinning, then you're good. And it's super easy. You don't have to take the whole front end of the truck off. Obviously, you see I still have most of the truck on. And this just gives you a whole bunch of room to work with, so you can start pulling all the rest of this stuff off. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work on pull this thing apart, but that's how you get your fan loose. It's pretty simple. I don't have an inch and 7/8, so it's an inch and 7/8 wrench that you're supposed to use. I didn't have one, so I just used a really big adjustable crescent wrench. And you put it on that nut, you smack it a couple times with your hammer, like you'll see in my video, and it'll come loose, and then you can just spin it off with the fan. It's very, very easy. Next, I'm gonna take the serpentine belt off. If you haven't taken one of these off before, you just take a 1/2 inch, scratch it, put it in the hole on the tensioner pulley. It's right here, literally pointing straight at it, tensioner pulley. Put it in the hole, push down, pull it off, let it back up slowly, and then just beat it out. It's obviously going to be ran through a bunch of different places, but it's very easy. Run it through, take your time, don't get frustrated, and eventually it'll come out. Now we got our serpentine belt out. Moving on to the next thing. I guess will be, I think we're just gonna keep cracking at the small stuff, and then we'll move to the big stuff like wiring and tubes and stuff like that. Drain the coolant. You always want to drain the coolant when you're doing heads, obviously, because if you don't, when you pull the head off, it's just gonna dump whatever was in the cylinder. So you don't want to do that. It causes a huge mess. Obviously, this wiring stuff is a huge mess, but it looks intimidating. But I promise you, it only goes to one spot. So if you realize something's not plugged up, there has to be a plug-in somewhere. So don't get frustrated. Just continue pushing, and eventually you'll be like, oh, it's all back together. But at first it's gonna be like, whoa, where's this stuff go? But it's super easy. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the air conditioner off. I'm just gonna flop it over on this side, and that'll just get it out of my way. And then I'll pull the coolant after I get a bucket and drain it from the bottom, and I'll show you where to drain it from. But once I get a bucket from the bottom, I'll drain it. And then I can start pulling all the coolant stuff off, and then start working my way towards the rest of the stuff. But you want to get your coolant drained so you don't pop a tube and then coolant's all over your engine. Your electrical, you're going to be disconnecting a bunch of stuff, so it'll just get everywhere and it'll be really gross. Okay, so now what we're at is we're going to drain the coolant on this thing. Unfortunately, not a drain plug apparently on the LBZ, but on the LOI and the LB7 there is. The 2005 and below, but 2006 and above there's not. So you gotta take this clip, take it out, and once you get that clip out, you just kind of push this back and it'll dump all the coolant out. So that's what we're gonna do now, is push that clip out and start draining all the coolant. Unfortunately, that's the only way to do it. It's not the only way, but I guess it's the easiest way. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get to work on that. I'm probably not gonna record it because I really don't want to get coolant all over my phone. Okay, so I got that popped off. Now drained. I guess there wasn't much in there, so that's good. Obviously we're doing head gaskets, so it's probably an issue. Driver said he had to add 2 gallons of coolant on the way home, so I probably used all those 2 gallons. Yeah, I try to stay as clean as possible. I hate getting coolant everywhere. Yeah, we're gonna push on. That's the most annoying part. So now it's just disconnecting the small things and getting. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is get this wiring out of the way, and then we'll push on from there. my top coolant hose is off. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. Dadgummit. Fine. Not doing anything. Really didn't want to get coolant everywhere. I just did. Whatever. It's not detrimental to my life, but I still want to do it. I like to be clean. Start removing the easy stuff that I can get to. I like to go easy and then move to the more difficult stuff. If I can get the front of the motor off, then the rest of it will kind of just fall into place. The rest of it meaning fuel lines and all that stuff. Like the front of the motor is just brackets and all of that. So I like to do that before I do anything else. Kind of just working my own way, but it ends up working out. All right, so basically to get the alternator off, you just gotta manhandle a little bit. And then you just kind of just start removing bolts that hold the brackets on. You'll see them. There's 3 that hold this one on. 1, 2, 3. 2 down there. You know, there's 2 in here. Just start removing them. Just when you get them off, just like I do, just put the bolts back on. Don't mind this, it kind of exploded when I disconnected it. For whatever reason, it just exploded. Yeah, so just remove bolts, put them back. Trust me, if you put them back, you'll save yourself a lot of hassle. But I'm gonna start removing this and then we'll move on. All right, so we're making some progress. Got the whole front of the motor off. It's the coolant Y crossover pipe. It looks like this. This guy. That's off. I got the power steering bracket off, the tensioner belt pulley bracket, and the alternator. That's what it all holds. So you get those off, and that exposes the front of the head, as you can see. So it'll expose the front of the head. Make sure you plug your holes, just because you don't want stuff to fall in there, because it will get bad. You should fall down your block, and then you gotta deal with that. This is your oil pressure wire. This truck's never been messed with, so everything's factory. So it'll run up in here behind your coolant crossover in front of your head, and then sit up here, and then connect into your harness. And your harness is up here, and you got your turbo vane sensor, runs down through there. Yeah, so it runs down to there. You just unplug that, and then run it up here, back to your turbo, and just leave it there. Don't take it off. Obviously, you got to pull your intercooler pipe. That one looks pretty gross, so I think we might just change that one altogether. Maybe the boot needs changed. Pull your Y bridge. That'll be here in a minute. And this spider web of fuel lines. It looks crazy, but I promise you it's actually really easy once you get it apart. It all goes in the same place. It's no surprise where you're not gonna be like, oh man, where'd it go? Because it'll only go one way. So I promise you, once you get it apart, you'll be like, all right, this is actually easy. So, yep, I'm gonna continue working, and I'll keep updating. All right, got a little ahead of myself. Forgot to record some stuff, but it's mostly pretty easy stuff. Bolts out. Get to your injectors. Yeah, they're annoying, but it's pretty easy. Okay, so all the videos that I've watched, because I was like, oh, there's no way you can do it. No one showed how you actually do it, and that drives me insane. So what I did is put a screwdriver right there, which keeps that pipe backwards. Because all you're trying to do is get this 2 bolts out. If they fall, it's not that big a deal because you're going to take it off anyways. So there's 2 nuts back there, one there, and then there's one on the other side. So you put that screwdriver right there so you can get in there. You can see it. I just used a swivel and an extension. I don't know if you can see it in there, but a swivel and an extension to get that Y bridge off. Because you put the swivel on the nut that's in there and you spin it. If the nut falls, who cares? You're just gonna drop in the valley, which you're about to pull the Y bridge anyways. So you have plenty of room just to get it out. But that's all I did it. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. So here's the other one. Same thing. Can't really see it. That's kind of annoying, but it's just in there like swimwear. Straight in, boom, onto the nut, and just spin it till it comes off. Getting it back on is gonna be a different story, but getting in there, not that big a deal. Or getting it off there. Sweet. As you can see, sometimes the nut just comes out with it, and you're good. Getting back in, what my plan is just fill that full of Permatex, like no joke, and stick that thing in there, and hopefully I can get it to start. Problem is, if you get one on, and then you don't get the other one on, and then it falls down, then you gotta take the other one off, then you get the other one back on, and then it's just a vicious process, or a vicious cycle of hatred and discontent. But hopefully I don't have that issue, and it just goes on. But life is not always that way. All right, so I already broke these with a wrench. Now I'm just kind of twisting them out of here, but these aren't as bad as you think either. They're really easy. It's just have some patience, just take your time. Once you get them loose enough, just grab them with your fingers. Pull those old Johns out of there. So long. What you can do is replace these with shorter ones, and especially this one right here, because it's going to hit the turbo and it's going to be super annoying. So what I found is you can replace them with shorter ones, and they hold just fine. So I mean, the extra threads definitely help, but I've never had an issue with them. But I'm gonna get this one out. I already broke it with a wrench. I'm just gonna keep twisting it out until I can get it out. Okay, so like step 7 of this install, I used the flathead to push the line back, and then I just took this and I spun it out until it comes out of its own. It's all the way loose. I didn't have to do anything special. I just used the vice grips, or not vice grips. I just used the needle nose to twist it. Maybe not the preferred method, but it works, and it was the easiest thing I could think of. And there we go. That bolt is out, and I'll get the last two, pull this John out of here. Okay, so one reason why I don't have this valve cover off yet, because as you can see, most of my bolts are loose, or out. This back part on an LBZ, you can't get to that freaking daggone things, those nuts back there, so you can get the last one off. So you gotta take the fuel rail off, take those 2 bolts out, and then you can get to the last bolt for the valve cover. You don't have to take the upper one off, you can just take the lower one off, and then you can pull it off, and it's super easy. If you just leave it together, it's not a big deal. On an LOY, you can actually, even maybe on this one too, you can probably, so what I do is I pull it over this, and depending on how this one's, I might be able to do it on this one too. Instead of pulling the exhaust manifold, you just slide it down over top of this. Everyone says you can't do it, but I've done it 3 times, and I know you can. So I think I'm gonna give that a shot. If I can't do it, then whatever, I'll just pull it off. But it just saves time if I don't have to. But yeah, pull the fuel rail off, get those last 2 bolts out, move that bracket, and then your last one is back there, under that bracket, of course. And then you'll be able to get the valve cover off. All right, so got the valve cover off this side. Devin's working on the downpipe down there. He's somewhere over there. Now what I'm doing is I got all the wiring out of the way, got the glow plugs disconnected. So So they're down here, right there. See those little studs? Those are your glow plugs. Now I'm working on the injectors. All right, so I've seen a lot of people struggle with getting these injectors out. So this is what I like to do before I even start trying to get them out. So you can just turn them to the side, back and forth, back and forth. This loosens them up because there's a O-ring that seals these in your head. So it goes down, seals in that O-ring. And what that O-ring does is it gets dirty and then it just gets stuck. So a lot of these injectors will get stuck in here and you won't be able to get them out. You can see how it's already loosening up. I just do this a few times until it gets really easy to move. And I come under here, take this John, and I put it under there, and then I pull up. Boom. And it comes out. See how dirty that O-ring is? Yeah, so that's what causes your injectors to get stuck. And that's why it's hard to get out. So if you just break that dirt up by spinning it back and forth, that injector will come out and you won't have to fight it as hard. Or you can use a slide hammer. Sometimes that happens. And you got to use a slide hammer to get it off. Yeah, I have a whole bunch. This is everything I've got off so far. I'm going to have to rearrange it and freaking get it looking good. But for now, this is what it's going to look like. Got the wiring harness out of the way. This is the best way I've found to do it, is just kind of lay it off on the side. And then just keep it down here. You don't have to completely disconnect everything because sometimes it just gets difficult to find where it goes.
Dude, I just stripped this out.
You stripped the bolt out?
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, Devin just screwed up, so.
You were have to take it down, pop off, and everything.
But you break torque on all these, all the head bolts. It's what, a 17?
Yeah, 17.
17, 12 point. They're gonna be really hard to break because they're 125 foot-pounds, but break the torque on those, and then you can spin them all out, get them loose. You don't have to take them out. You can just leave them in, but it'd be easier if you got them all out. This side, you have to leave. I'll post a video after this one. This side, you have to leave the back right one in to get it off. And I'll show you that here in a minute once we get there. But this side, you do not have to do that. You can take them all out and it'll be fine. So we're gonna get all these bolts out and then I'll show you guys how to get it off. All right, so I don't think this is going to work. I really don't think this is gonna work, but we're gonna try to get this out without taking the manifold off just because the bolts are so rusted. I doubt it's gonna work. We're gonna give it a shot. I got a good stance over here. Evan's over there, so we're gonna lift her out. Oh, it's gonna smash my finger. All right. Oh, baby, it might work. Oh man, my God, look at that. I'm living proof that you don't have to take the passenger side manifold off. All right, very well. Those pistons look good. Oh. Yeah, that's exciting. That was a lot less work than what we're about to have to do. Sweet, good job, Devin.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last thing. When you pull these heads off. Sorry I'm breathing so hard. Just untorqued all these bolts and I'm out of shape. So when you get here, you're gonna be like, oh man, this last bolt won't come out because of the firewall. You can't get it out, it's impossible. Alright, so the way you do that, you literally just pull the head off with the bolt still in there and you're good. Promise it'll come out. Trust me, just leave it in there, pull the head off. Once it clears the threads, you just pull it out. It's all good. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll be done with this thing for today anyways. All right, what's up guys? So it's been a pretty busy week, but overall pretty good. Been keeping me on my toes, pulling boats, running around, being crazy. I did get the heads off of the LBZ, which is freaking sweet. God, it took me a couple days just because every time I get started on it, it seemed like somebody wanted to be like, hey, come do this, hey, come do this. So finally got them off. Now all I have to do is I gotta sand down the block, and then once I sand down the block, hopefully the parts will be here. Probably end up being next week. But as far as this week, the heads are done. Still waiting on the delivery of the other head for the white Duramax. So I'll have to, hopefully I'll be able to start it tomorrow. It probably end up being Monday. But for now, that's pretty much all I have going on. The Ford's still getting worked on. They made pretty good progress on that though, so it's pretty cool. I'll show you that, but yeah, just another week. Well, little did I know, 3 hours after I finished that video yesterday, the shop would catch on fire and burn down. So go and check out at Gentry and Sons trucking channel. I'm sure it'll be up there, the update on that, and see what's going on with that. But I won't say any more just because I feel like that's more Timmy's, thing to say to everyone. But yeah, sucks, but we got to keep moving on. Like always, thank you to the veterans out there, active duty members of the military, and all you truck drivers. Without you guys, America would not be the way it is. So yeah, thank you. Keep watching, and that's it.